Good morning, welcome back. I'm here today again at the Bariatric and Nutrition Clinic Teaching Kitchen, donated by Brown and Weinraub and Earl B. Fidens. Today we are going to make a chicken stir fry with some fried rice, vegetables. We've got our chicken here, but we're gonna do it in more of a healthy way. And since we're going through this pandemic with COVID-19 and everything, I'm going to teach you how to use a mix of fresh and convenience items to still be able to make some healthy meals. So why don't we get started? The first thing we're going to do is go over to our chicken, and we want to make sure that we trim the fat. I have these kitchen shears. If you have a knife, that works too. We're just going to trim off all the visible white fat. And this just makes this lean piece of chicken a little bit leaner. We can trim that up. Some pieces right here. And then, since we are going to be doing a stir fry, we want bite-sized pieces of chicken anyway. I'm going to keep using these shears because it's a little bit easier than a knife to cut up some bite-sized pieces of chicken. You want to make sure that your pieces are all roughly the same size so that they cook around the same time. Okay, that looks good. And we will just discard of this over here. I'm going to wash my hands and get that chicken juice off. Okay. And this way, it is safe for me to go on to our vegetables. Okay, so we have our chicken ready here. We're going to turn on our burner. Let that heat up a little bit. As you can see, what I'm going to use today is, first we're going to prep the pan with a little bit of garlic. Now, I could have bought fresh garlic, but to help me have garlic in my house and not have to go to the grocery store as often, I bought one of those big containers of already minced up garlic. So this is, a little bit of that. We're not going to use this whole thing. That would be incredibly garlic, probably about a tablespoon. We've got broccoli, red pepper, some already diced red onions, carrots, snow peas, and then we've got an egg over here, which we're going to use when we do our rice. So I'll leave that here. We do need to cut up this broccoli. I'm going to cut off these hard stems and then kind of divide up, move this over here for right now, divide up the heads a little bit so that they're small and can saute up. When you're cooking vegetables, the denser or more thick the vegetable is, the more time that it's going to take to cook. So when I'm cooking things together some are more thick, some are more thin, peppers will cook faster. I don't want them to burn, so I'm going to make sure that my broccoli is cut small enough that the cooking times will be roughly the same. If you can eat the rainbow, then you are on your way to getting all of the vitamins and minerals and antioxidants that you need for the day. So here we've got pretty much a rainbow, just like that, which is pretty awesome, and we can include that in our rainbow hunt. I have the stove on high just to warm it up. I am going to turn it down closer to medium for cooking. I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil. We are going to get our chicken going, because that is going to take the longest to cook. So we'll pour that in there. I'm going to use a white spatula to deal with my chicken and a red-handled one to take care of the vegetables because I don't want to mix the two since this chicken's raw to start. Now we know that the chicken is cooked when all the sides are more white. So we'll get this burner started. We still have some peppers to chop up. That sizzle sounds good. You can kind of put your hand over the pan to kind of test to make sure that there's heat. We'll do a little bit of olive oil. Stir those around so that nothing gets burnt. I know my pan is hot when it has the olive oil, when the olive oil starts to kind of move and spread out by itself. So this is a signal to me that it's time to add some garlic. You can kind of tip that, make it sure it coats the pan. Now, our plan today is to end up with a chicken stir fry. Lots of times we might use rice. Again, we're talking about how we can avoid going to the grocery store, every few days. We want to get as much as we can at once. So while we have, fresh vegetables today, we also can use things like, like frozen rice. I've got some frozen brown rice here. We are going to make our final product with some rice cauliflower instead of rice. This gives the dish another vegetable. It's a little bit lower carb. Okay. We can add our onions in here now. Just strew them all around. Okay. The next thing we're going to add is our broccoli, because that's the next longest cooking time. Add in there. Turn around. We're going to add some strips of carrot. Okay. So the next green that I have are snow peas. Just a couple in there. And then finally our red pepper. Now, if you wanted to make a stir fry, but you didn't have a ton of time to be cooking chicken, things like that, another convenience item is they have these grilled chicken strips already cooked and sliced up for you. Most stores will have them in different varieties. There's grilled, roasted. Some are already seasoned. Okay. Going back to our vegetables, we want to make sure that we stir them around so that none of them get burnt on one side. And another trick that you can do to help them cook a little faster is take the top of a pan and kind of lay it on top. This will create a steaming effect, and that'll help the vegetables get nice and cooked through. They won't be, some won't be hard, some will be crunchy. They'll all have that nice texture that we want in the end. So we'll leave that on for about a minute. Okay. So the very last thing that we're going to do is prepare our rice. What I think we can do is we can take this chicken off the burner. It looks done. It's nice and brown. No clear parts. So, and you could, if you wanted to, when you're doing this at home, you can, once the chicken is cooked, you can add these things to the cooked chicken. What I wanted to do was do each part individually for you. Look at those. Nice and bright. They look delicious, and it smells pretty good in here too. I wanted to do each piece separately for you so that you could see how each piece works together, and then we'll put it together. But what I'm going to do now is I want to turn down the heat of both my chicken and these veggies. Man, those look good. And start with the rice. And again, what I said, we would use cauliflower rice. So I already have that microwaved because I chose to use a frozen one. You can take a head of cauliflower, steam it up, and do it yourself, but I will tell you it is very messy. So for me, the frozen cauliflower is my choice. Okay? So when we think of fried rice and a stir fry, a lot of times we'll include an egg And the rice is more of a traditional ingredient. So I'm just letting this pan get hot. I'm just going to take actually the vegetables right off the heat there, because I feel like they're getting a little bit too done. And we definitely don't want that. Okay. So just to make sure that we don't have any shell, I'm going to crack my egg into a separate container. Grab a fork. Okay. And we're just going to scramble this egg right up. Okay. I'll probably grab another spatula. Once the egg is cooked, then we'll add the rice, which is already cooked. It's just kind of a way to incorporate the flavors and reheat your rice to make sure everything is the same temperature when we plate it. And you know, while my egg is finishing up, this is our dirty plate over here. I did forget a fairly essential item for Chinese stir fry, which is a good soy sauce. So I'm choosing to use a low sodium soy sauce. You can use whatever you want. We're just going to flavor our veggies. Hear that sizzle? Flavor our veggies a little bit with that. All right, and everything is coming together so nicely. Again, when you're at home, you can do these things in one pot, but I wanted to make sure that everybody saw all the steps. So we've got some cauliflower rice. We'll mix that up with our egg. All right, now, our pieces are all together? Or our pieces are all here. Let's put it together. So we've got our scoops of rice, or cauliflower rice. We're going to take some of these delicious looking vegetables. And some of our chicken. And if you wanted to, you could dab another little bit of soy sauce on it. But here we go. We've got a delicious grilled chicken, vegetable, and our cauliflower rice stir fry. Thank you guys so much again. Oh, so I am going to give this a try. Let's get as many of these different ingredients on my fork as I can. It's as good as it smells. I think we did a pretty good job today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you again next time.